Okay, so from what we know about the Bible verse, we need to understand that like she had courage, strength, and faith that guided her actions, and as such, that was what gave her her healing. She reached out with a sole belief, and this teaches us as women that we also can reach out to God and reminds us that we can also be healed. This is all centered around like having faith and strength and that belief. And then this kind of links again to the first prompt that we were talking about in what do you need to reach out into faith. And when we were talking, it kind of centered around the same things. We need to have that like kind of like that faith to like believe. We need to reaffirm that belief in God. And we also need to have that courage to seek out God just as that woman did. And then we also need to have that strength so to follow God in order to kind of like strengthen our faith. And then we need to push forward so that we're not afraid. We don't let our fear overpower you and lead you away from your faith, because as we can see from that woman, faith can do such incredible things and guide us so far on our path as Christians and as women in general. So then we also know that God is with you all the time, and that with God you can succeed and you can be healed. And if he can heal this woman, and he can also heal us, and then if we reach out with faith, we can do that too. And then moving on to the second discussion prompt, which was how do we support each other in both faith and healing? We went through a variety of things, but the main things that we really did focus on was creating a safe space in which we can freely communicate with one another. And there's a really important thing about community and having that kind of support around you and having that support base so that you can feel emboldened in your faith and also go forward in order to like spread the word and spread the message and feel confident in your faith. And then we've got having a positive church community is also really important. So church is a real like pillar of, strengthening your faith and like supporting one another in that kind of way. Having prayer partners is something that we can do. Someone you can go to, you can talk to, you can pray with, someone you feel comfortable with, and sharing those deep prayers that are really personal to you. In addition, mentorship, if there's someone within the church who you really do admire their faith and their strength. I think for me personally, the woman who was just before me, I really liked the way she was speaking, how she was so confident in her speech. So going out to somebody like that and like really like asking for help in that kind of manner is good. And really important is to learn not to be judgmental. So like offer solutions, not condemnation. You need to understand that everybody, is going through things and goes through things, and you're not in that position to judge because you yourself also sin. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, and then, going through scripture, knowing scripture, like I think as the lady before me also said, because when you know scripture, you can go to somebody and say, oh, you're going through this. Well, in the Bible it says this. How about we go through it together? We understand it. Maybe we can take some guidance, some key points from that, and then go forth and understand it and yeah. Yeah, I'm done.
Oh, that was amazing.